要多辣吗？
各位来宾，各位朋友，晚上好。今天是一个特殊的日子，7月1号是加拿大建国150周年的纪念日。在中国呢，是香港回归20周年的纪念日。在这样一个具有历史丰碑的日子，我们很高兴请到了鸭绿江边一个非常美丽的城市丹东这个一个中国的女歌手来这里呢，和本地的2个很优秀的，都是艺术院校毕业的，得过很多奖的小歌手12人会共同举办一个别具风味的这样的一个演唱会。那么大家恐怕不太熟悉这些小歌手。陈雨萌呢，他是近几年在中国歌坛上突然急速升起的这样一个备受关注的这样的一个流行歌手。他在中国很多一些重大的演唱的会中间曾经得过全国的总冠军和最佳人气奖。那么这2位小歌手呢，他们也是本地的一些非常优秀的一些少年歌手。那么很高兴大家来到这里。陈雨萌这个歌手呢，他的特点这个是歌声嘹亮、甜美而且他每一句都充分地洋溢出他的青春活力在他的歌声当中，大家细心的听，都流淌着对于生命对于健康、对于幸福对于未来、对于梦想的这样的一个理想和追求。大家注意听这个他是用心灵来唱歌，我们呢也用一种心灵来领受。那么希望在今天晚上这样的一个很短暂的当中，那么他的歌声能跟大家一起庆祝这样的一个节日，共享欢乐。希望今天是成为一个非常快乐的这样的一个夜晚。谢谢大家。那么好了，
大家好，我是陈雨萌，谢谢今天的合作人。这首《北京远近》送给你们。当我走在这里每一条街道，我的心似乎从来都不能平静。除了发动机的轰鸣和电气指引，我似乎听到了它逐步般的心跳。我在这里祈祷，也在这里哭泣，我在这里活着，也在这死去。我在这里欢笑，也在这里迷茫，我在这里寻找，也在这失去。北京，北京，咖啡馆与广场有3个街区，就像霓虹灯和月亮的距离。人们在挣扎中 相互包围和拥抱，寻找着、追逐着奄奄一息的碎梦。我们在这欢笑，我们在这哭泣，我们在这活着，也在这死去。我们在这祈祷，也在这里迷茫。我们在这寻找，也在这失去。北京，北京。
Member of Parliament Sean Chen has always been passionate about creating an inclusive, multicultural environment.
Award to Mr. Sean Chen.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, what a year to celebrate Canada's 150th. And this legend that we see here, I was saying to Sean that...
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to Dr. Alvin Curling for presenting me with this wonderful award. And I want to start off by acknowledging that we are standing on the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples of our country. To accept this award is first and foremost to acknowledge the tremendous history and contributions of the Chinese in Canada. It is a story that begins with a lot of struggle and a lot of injustices, from the unfair treatment of the Chinese railroad workers to the injustices of the Chinese Exclusion Act and the head tax that were imposed on the many early Chinese that first came to our country. It is to reflect on how far and how much we have progressed as a community. And that takes me to my story, beginning with my parents, who immigrated to Canada over 40 years ago, coming here from Calcutta, India. We are Hakka Chinese. My grandparents originally from Meishan, Guangdong province in China. And they came here for that better life, and they came here for that promise of opportunity. I remember when I graduated from university and I had a computer science degree. We were at the height of the tech boom, and I was getting a lot of job interviews. And one day, after coming back from an interview, I said to my parents, I'm going to register to run for school board trustee. It was a municipal election year, 2006. The first question they asked me was, how much does that pay? Well, it paid $25,000 a year, and it was less than half of what I was making part-time as a project manager and consultant for a software firm. But I said to my parents, I want to do this. And they said to me, Sean, please remember, you are Chinese, and there are very few Chinese people in politics. They were not trying to discourage me, they were trying to remind me of the fact that I had a Chinese face, and that going out there to be in politics meant that I would face barriers that others would not face, because I did not look or necessarily sound like a typical politician. But I told them I wanted to do it because it was what I was so passionate about. And I reflected on the fact that in my years in university and high school, it was getting involved in the community. It was chairing the Scarborough Youth Council, or becoming a governor at the University of Toronto, working with people like Senator Vivian Coy, who was the chancellor at the time. It was those experiences that really made me passionate. So I ran. And of course, my parents became my biggest canvassers, my biggest support. And to this day, they continue to be my biggest champion. I want to thank my parents, Ko, Choi, and Yap Min Chen, who are here tonight. Thank you, Mom and Dad. So when I heard that I was getting this award, I looked up the word legend. It said a legend is someone who is extremely famous or extremely notorious. I'd like to think of myself as neither of those two definitions. I like to think of myself as someone who started here in Canada with very humble beginnings. My parents, first-generation immigrants, who never had the opportunity to go to university, but who worked hard to build a life for themselves and provide a life for their family. I like to think of myself who is passionate about making a difference in the community, who sees injustice and knows that I cannot stand by and just watch. And I like to think of myself as someone who loves my city, who loves my province, and who loves my country for everything that has given to me. I hope that I can only serve as an inspiration to a generation of young people of Chinese descent who will be fearless, who will not just focus on academics or sitting there and being quiet, who will stand up for what you believe in, who will know that you too can be part of giving back, of being in public life, of contributing to our country, and of standing up for what is right. Thank you, ABNA, for the incredible honor you have bestowed on me tonight. And I want to thank all of you, the entire community, for what you do. Keep up the great work, and together we can continue to build a better Canada. Thank you.
And also 2 of our VIP friends to
Born to a prominent family, Mr. Robert Hung Nai Ho did not just carry on building the family business empire.
Vancouver to join us tonight due to health reasons.
Shirley Hoy served in the City of Toronto and the Ontario provincial government in different capacities for over 30 years, starting from the grassroots level up to the top bureaucratic position of the city. Founder of Chinese Artist Society of Toronto and Popular Music Center, Master James Lee is an outstanding singer-teacher with students from all over Toronto.
Acting Counsel General of People's Republic of China in Toronto to present his work to Mr. James Lee.
红枫传奇组委会评选委员会给这样一个荣誉给我，而且今天晚上呢，我很 surprise， 我不知道会有中国领馆副总领事来为我颁奖，所以这个奖项呢，既有加拿大社会对我的肯定，也传来了祖国人民的温暖和支持，所以今天我特别的高兴。这几年40年来，将近40年了，在加拿大一路走过来，我想，那如果是说我做了一点事儿，但是一个人是做不成的。我一路过来得到很多朋友、同学还有侨邻们的支持。所以才能够做成一点事儿，比如说那个多伦多华人艺术家中心，如果没有钢琴家董东东博士、小提琴家侯国志教授，他们一起来支持，那是多伦多华人艺术家中心是没办法成立的，也不可能团结了这么多200个左右的专业的音乐家在一起。那么说起我们最近的歌艺会，现在9周年了，我现在回头想一想，自己也有一点后怕，因为成立歌艺会的时候，我自己已经是70岁了，那个时候还有胆量啊，现在叫我从头再来一次，可能是没有胆量。但是我也很幸运，有很多朋友的支持，比如说 Terence， 比如说我们的薛礼，我们的Paul， 很多朋友、很多义工、很多委员、很多名誉主席，他们都给了很大的支持，所以我们才能够搞成一个歌艺会。我们可以团结8个老师在一起教唱歌。所以今天呢，我想利用这个机会，代表我个人跟我的家人，向今天晚上所有的嘉宾、朋友、同学们、同仁们表示感谢。
Thank you so much. Okay, so.
Since Benson C. established his own company and dedicated himself to serving the community, he has not taken a break in over 20 years.
And the Honorable Michael Chen, Ontario Minister of International Trade, will present the award to Mr. Benson C.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chair, members of Parliament, members of the Legislative Assembly, members of City Council from the various regions, ladies and gentlemen, bonjour, mesdames et messieurs, chers amis. It is my distinct pleasure to be able to co-present with the Honorable Michael Chen to a well-deserved Canadian citizen to receive this wonderful and prestigious award.
Michael Chen. Also, just want to quickly reminding everybody and Honorable Philip Lee was a former Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, and he was also the Chinese Canadian Legend Award recipients a few years back, and also Senator Vivian Poy was also a former Chinese Canadian Legend Award recipient as well. Just want to mention that as well. Okay, Benson, could you please say a few words? Go ahead.
Good evening, the organizing committee and all the honored guests. I just have to say I feel really honored tonight because they can go up to 6 recipients for this award. I thank the committee for giving me this award. Actually, all along, I've been considered myself as a volunteer. And as a volunteer, you never expect anything in return. And I'm just one of those volunteers, just keep plugging away, doing the things that I think we should do as a good citizen. And I was very excited when I heard the news about getting this award. The main reason for me that is that I knew that there's someone out there is recognizing the work of this silent group. There's always a saying to give and take. And as I grow a lot older now than before, and I felt, and I started to understand, actually it's more fortunate to give than to take. Now, in Chinese, the word said, 施比受更為有福。即係我而家覺得就係話，如果你真係成可以施，一定會好過你成得有福。And as giving, to me, I don't think it just has to be money. It can be your time. And it doesn't have to be a big amount or small amount. Even a day or a year is still good as a volunteer, because this is what it counts. And I believe everyone can do it if you really wanted to. It's just a lot of time people get excuses that they don't want to do it. You know, when I look back, when I started my charity golf tournament 26 years ago, my only goal was one thing, to create more awareness for TDTCs, especially the Chinese group, they are the high-risk group. And I just want to do it 1 year at a time. And I think time goes by very quickly. And now I've done it for over a century. I really could not believe it. And then in the end, I really have to thank all the friends who supported me along the way. And I've just told them I'm just a person as a friend organizing it. They're the one with the backbone to support the tournament. And we don't raise big money every year. It's 1 year after 1 year they raise the money. And of course, you know, for my character, I really have to thank my mom and my parents. They taught me the value of life. And thank you. And of course, I have to thank my wife for putting up support me along the way. Especially sometimes I have to go out 3 or 4 times to meeting her in a way, and she just said, "It's okay, no need to come back anymore." And I would thank my children, you know, for the understanding why I'm doing this. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the word. Thank you.
Thank you so much about
Tonight is Climb Every Mountain.
enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
My day in the hills has come to end. I know the stars have come out to tell me it's time to go. Deep in the dark green shadows are voices that urge me to stay. So I pause and I wait and I listen for one more sound, for one more lovely thing that the hills might say. The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from the church on a breeze. to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, or as long as you live. Every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give every day of your life, or as long as you every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you for crowd support. This is always a beautiful singing.
Thank you so much, Ruth Ann, for singing for us, for singing for the Canadian Chinese legends.
Let's give another round of applause.
We are the people of Maple Leaf.
May I just say how this came about? David and I, the Lieutenant Governor always opens the opening of the courts. Each September, our court system has a church service. And in that church service, about 5 years ago, David and I sat and watched as a lone bagpiper
piped up the church to the church, beautiful church organ. And it was this melody that we heard. And many of you know it as Highland Cathedral. And David turned to me and said, I can hear a song and I can hear the words. We are the people of the maple leaf. And so we have a beautiful piece of melody, and my husband has written some beautiful words. And this is a tribute to all Canadians. 150 years our country has been together. And we celebrate Canada, and we celebrate the excellence tonight of our Canadians, our Chinese Canadians recipients tonight. And so this is dedicated to all of those who have received that award and to all of you who love this land called Canada. Strong were the people of the ice and snow, brave were the people of the spear and bow, guardians of land, of tree, of sky and sea. They were the people of the maple leaf. Bold were the people from across the sea, those who would build this land so strong and free, dreaming of lives of hope, of faith and peace. They were the people of the maple leaf. Guns did roar and the flags they flew, the call to arms they answered true. Times of war, both near and far, they gave their lives to guard this land, my home so grand. We are the people of the maple leaf, proud to defend our home in war and peace. Guardians of land and tree, of sky and sea. We are the people of the maple leaf. We are the people of the maple leaf, proud to defend our home in war and peace. Guardians of land, of tree, of sky and sea. We are the people of the maple leaf. And we pledge anew the vow to serve our nation true, giving all from sea to sea. We give our hearts to keep this land, my home so grand. We are the
of sky and sea. We are the people of the make-believe. Yes, we are the people of the make-believe. So proud to defend our home in war and peace. God is a land of tree, of sky and sea. God bless Canada, the make-believe. Yes, God bless Canada, the
Chinese can you imagine?
Many thanks to all our VIP guests, Her Majesty Canadian Yorkshire Band, Power King, the great team of the volunteers, and most importantly, each and every one of you for making tonight such a special evening.
And dance until 1 a.m.
Just a final remind you
for coming tonight, and we will see you